Hello again, and it's still Suzy at MEF. Welcome to this event. If you're just joining us, we have been talking a lot about messaging up to now, and we are already halfway through our online event. Time flies, it's just unbelievable. Before we move on to the sessions that we have planned ahead for you this afternoon, we have quite a few topics to talk about. I'd like to spend a few minutes with my colleague Gavin Patterson, who's the director of MEF data at the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. MEF has been, as you know, MEF is always busy. We're very, very busy with a lot of things to provide you with as much insight, impact, and bring interaction to the mobile ecosystem. Gavin has been working extensively on developing data for our mobile community. So I don't think we had that we didn't present anything related to that last year at that time of the year, or even in October, I think, because it was early days. But there has been developments on that side of things. So Gavin, I'm really eager to hear the latest from your side and share with our audience the kind of data that is available to our members and the mobile community, and obviously anything that is interesting for wholesalers.
Absolutely. Thanks, Suzy. So a big thank you to you as well for putting all this together today and inviting me to speak on the topic of MEF data. And I think we've tagged it the opportunity for the wholesale ecosystem. Specifically, I think the opportunity is really from the MEF data perspective, as we've spoken with members about ideally what we would like in terms of data support. And we have some big plans about what we would like to do, and I'm excited to be able to share some of that with you today. So if the slides come up, here we go. First, so some other excitement, I guess, and that's an update on what's happening within MEF. So you can see here plans, not really confirmed yet, about ideas to restructure the ecosystems really to better reflect our members' interests and developments within the existing ecosystems. So I think the big change you can see here is, we've gone from 6 existing ecosystems, looking here at maybe 8 areas. In terms of what you can see on the left here, those 4 already existed: content, advertising, payment and commerce, ID and data, connectivity and wholesale. But what's happened is that we've moved mobile IoT, or the idea is looking to move mobile IoT into the connectivity and wholesale ecosystem, where obviously we can concentrate on mobile IoT and eSIMs and roaming and everything else. And then enterprise comms, which was a single channel before, is sort of divided up into 4, where we've got the channel view with SMS, RCS, bringing in WhatsApp and other OTT apps as well as looking at voice, email, USSD, and then as well as that, with what's happening, looking at customer experience use cases, with marketing, notifications, etc., mobile evolution and anti-fraud. So this is something we're looking to move towards, and I think bringing mobile IoT into connectivity sort of makes sense from your perspective, Suzy. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say a few words on this. Absolutely. We've seen over the last few months that there's an increasing number of topics that are of importance to the IoT connectivity piece and the IoT members, and also to the connectivity or wholesale side of things. So there's a lot of overlapping of topics that are of interest, so it makes total sense to have those 2 brought together, and we will have obviously richer content as well to provide, and this should be available to this should come live later on this year, from as far as I understand. So thank you very much for highlighting that, Gavin.
Yep, absolutely. So back to the opportunity for the wholesale ecosystem and MEF data, or the opportunity for MEF data within the wholesale ecosystem. So what I'd like to do is really show you what we've done so far. I presented this in with Suzy at a working group at Barcelona MWC earlier this year, just an update on what we were doing with MEF data and plans we had for the future. So as it stands, we launched in November last year market data for all of the countries we cover, which is available now to all members. It basically covers, you know, everything. If you've got an interest in mobile, then we thought we'd start at the beginning and work our way forward. So existing MEF data, as I say, is there. You can sort of find it if you want to. Here, it's on the website, obviously. Click on data, and then you can sort of interrogate the data, view the data, download the data. It's broken up into the world and 4 regions. We have 218 countries, and what we're doing at the moment is looking at unique users. So that's split between the total market and also the adult market. SIM connections. So all the types of SIMs that are out there, whether it's talk text data, data only, M2M, or talk and text only, and obviously the MNO shares for each of these countries. So that is available for all of these countries. And then it's broken down further. You can see sort of device type and even OS type. So if you want to play along at home or in the office, wherever you are, the QR code here, if you scan that, it'll take you straight to the MEF data page. And this is just some examples of what you can do. So I think the first one we've got here is looking at Belgium, and we've selected active users. So you can see, well, if the screen's big enough, you can see, well, I've pointed there to the active users in that particular market. So you can see the population at the top, then the active users. At the very bottom are the people with no mobile phones, and in the middle it's all broken up to whether they're on smartphones, whether it's OS, Android, others, feature phones, etc., or what we'd call a dumb phone with no mobile data. So you can view the difference between connected and unconnected users in the market. So what that enables you to do is then take a better view of the market. The example I've done here is sort of just taken the data, which you can download and play with as you want. And you can see here, we've got the view of Belgium for the connected and unconnected users. This is unique users, and split up here between iOS, Android, and other. And at the top, the people with phones that are not having access to mobile data. So you can see of the 93% of active users in the population, 90% of those have connected data. Again, just another example. If we move forward here, again, if you want to play along, there's a QR code, and we've moved over this time to Kenya, and we're looking at the SIMs. So here you can see the total SIMs in market, the split of whether they're talk, text, and data, talk, text only, data only, and machine to machine. And again, within the human side of that, we've broken down the sort of phones that people can see. So 54% smartphone penetration in Kenya. And we move forward, and you can do things like this. So you can see how many humans there are in the market, how many machines. We've included data only here in machines, because that will be going into the mobile IoT space. And here you can see that humans are 96% of the total. Obviously, it changes dramatically by market by market. So that's existing MEF data. And also, obviously, you can see the MNO market shares if you want to see the breakdown per operator. If you're interested in connecting with particular operators, you can see all of this data. It's all there, and this is, as I say, for 218 markets. So there's a lot of data already available, and this is, as I say, all free to members. Go on the website, you've got the QR code there if you want to. So what we've also done, as well as the ecosystem data for the markets that's free and readily available, we have premium data, which is a thing called MEF Data Plus, which we also launched in November last year. And this is in partnership with Mobile Squared. So this is specifically looking at enterprise comms and the channels within there. I've just put 2 here because there's far too many. So what we look at here is the A2P SMS world, WhatsApp, whether it's on the free app or the API, RCS is in there, Facebook Messenger, Viber, and we will be looking at sort of others as we move forward. And this is all historical data, so it's up until in this case the end of last year, and you can sort of see here that what we're hopefully presenting in terms of mobile messaging or business messaging is a view of each channel. So if you were looking at, you know, a particular market, I can't remember which this one is that I've just selected here. You can see that the total sort of mobile SIM connections in any given market. You can see the SMS user reach, and on top of that, then you can see the proportion of reach that you would get on WhatsApp, RCS, Viber, etc. We also have the actual traffic and the spend, which is of interest, obviously, in terms of A2P messaging, to find out, you know, what the volumes are and how much people are making off that. And you can see here, I've taken out as well the traffic per user, the spend per user, and within the alternate channels to A2P SMS, you can also see the percent that you would get reach of WhatsApp versus A2P SMS. So all this is already available. That's, you know, about 140,000 odd data points that are available for the whole market, and then moving into the mobile business messaging side as well. That's what we've been busy doing up until now.
So it's so really interesting, really, you know, very much insightful. Are there any other data? So we obviously have a lot of data with regards to enterprise communications. We also, you know, in Wholesale look at other areas. Enterprise is very important, don't get me wrong, but we're also looking at other metrics. Do you have anything that is interesting also for that is more Wholesale related?
Yeah. Yes. So
And
yeah,
I look at you smile, I guess.
the opportunity for the wholesale ecosystem and what MEF data has been doing. No, absolutely, Suzy, and thank you for that. This is what we have done, and obviously we haven't just been sitting back and you know, waiting to update it all again. So we've got lots of plans I've been working on. So in terms of the other ecosystems, I've done this on the basis of, you know, what might be happening moving forward. So as you're aware, hopefully we run annual surveys within MEF, the Consumer Trust Survey being the biggest one of those, and we have data on that going back 10 years. We started in 2015 with the markets you can see there: Brazil, China, France, Germany, India, Japan, South Africa, Spain, UK, USA, surveying smartphone users in those markets, and at that time we covered about 48% of the global population. Last year we added Canada, Mexico, and Italy. Moved up to 13 countries, covering over half of the world's global population, and then this year we added in Egypt and Indonesia as well. So within this massive lake of data that we collect, I mean, there's over you know, 130 questions. So, you know, the survey respondents, God bless them, they put a lot of effort into this. And of those 130 questions, you know, there's over like 1,000 different answer variables. So all of that data we've now been collating and modeling and basically formatting to be able to present as well. And this will come live later this year, because the amount of data that we have here already and that we're collecting, we kind of need a, you know, a much more valuable and better data platform to be able to present that to members. So that is being worked on now. When that data platform's ready, which will hopefully be in the third quarter, then we'll sort of relaunch everything again. So all of this survey data is there. There's an awful lot of ID and data in there, obviously to do with awareness, control, security, privacy. There is an awful lot of payment and commerce data within there on usage of payments, and whether it's wallets, DCB, credit cards, and there's, you know, a whole heap of content advertising. We've got, you know, the gaming side very well catered for in terms of, you know, who uses games, how often they use games, how much they spend, which games. The same with video, and avatars and all things, and then connectivity and wholesale. Connectivity and wholesale, there is data, but I'd say at the moment it's sort of the shallow part of the lake, if you like. But I'll come on to that a little bit more. So with everything that we've got from the Mobile Consumers Trust Survey data, this is what we're able to do. So we can add this all into the content and advertising. You can see there's some examples that we've been posting. We post regular MEF data every week on avatars there, and gaming, payment and commerce. We've got the smartphone users who use mobile commerce or mobile payments, and then how they use it. ID and data, you can see there the effects of fraud and concerns about data sharing. And connectivity and wholesale, we've got there the roaming minutes and the when people are roaming, how likely they are to buy new services. But as I say, connectivity and wholesale is still shallow. So what we've been very actively doing is researching new areas, because when we come to update all of these 218 markets, that we will need to do sort of biannually anyway, or when regulators and operators release new information, is we've been looking at what else we can find and take. So as well as the SIM connections and the users and the devices in market, this is what we're now putting together, which is looking at the networks and technology side. So this is hopefully what will be available later this year. So when you're looking at a particular market, if you wanted to look at the views we just saw, you can view that. Or if you wanted to look on the technology side, you can click the networks and technology tab, and it will give you this breakdown. So here we're basically dividing up everything by the generations. So machine to machine, USBs, smartphones, dumb phones for the 2G unconnected, all the way down, and you get a good view of everything. Now, obviously, when you roll this up, it gives you a very, very detailed view of what's going on globally in terms of M2M connections. And within M2M in the future, with the cellular connections anyway, we're going to obviously break that out between the narrowband and then the different Cat 1s. And that enables you to hopefully get a view of some of the connectivity issues. But what we've also had to do within this is, when we're looking at the networks within markets, it's okay, that's fine. Then we've been looking at the operators. So, if an operator's launched 5G, is it standalone? If they've launched 4G, is VoLTE available? So we have a lot of operator data now that will also be able to go live. You'll be able to search, for example, of the number of 5G operator networks worldwide, which ones are standalone, which ones aren't. Same with 4G, if there's VoLTE available. And to be able to map that, we've had to also find out when networks were sunset. So we've got all the data so far on 2G, 3G sunsets. So that will all be there to be interrogated. And I think, when you start then looking at an operator by operator level, whether 2G or 3G has been retired, whether 4G has VoLTE availability, whether 5G is there, and whether it's standalone, this then begins to get quite important for the connectivity ecosystem. What we're also looking to do is add in roaming. Obviously a big thing. I know Suzy has a love of roaming data, and I have been trying to fall in love with it. So this is an example of some of the information we collected. I think, if I remember, this might be Kenya. And I just took the quarters here in between COVID, so you can see actually something happening other than just sort of, general growth or organic increase and decreases. So this was sort of in the quarter by quarter, taking in 2020 when markets were locked down. And I think if you start on the left, this is voice minutes. In the middle, you've got the SMS volumes, and on the far right is the data volumes from the data that you can see above here. So voice minutes, in terms of outgoing minutes, obviously dropped dramatically as soon as the market went into lockdown. This is outgoing, and then obviously recovering again towards the end of it. Whereas with the SMS volumes, initially a massive peak in incoming, falling off during the period and then falling down as the market came out of lockdown. But what you can't see so well there, because of the scale, is that the SMS outgoing actually dropped by 3/4 in the middle of the lockdown, and then data quality as well. Yes, hello.
I think we're running out of time, so
that's great, because I'm done. That's it. We're done. And I was just going to say, apart from roaming, obviously eSIM is the next thing that we're looking at, because I know there's a lot of interest in eSIM. So that was it.
There's so much, and there's a lot more to come. Which we understand on the wholesale side, there's a lot that will be published between now and at the end of the year and beyond. You have the contact details of Gavin here, which is great. Sorry, I have to cut you off, but we've got
that's fine.
It's great that MEF is undertaking that initiative. I think it's very useful for the industry. You're doing a great work, and I'm sure it will serve great purposes for the mobile community. So sorry, I've had to shorten the conversation. Great presentation. Thank you very much, Gavin.
You're very welcome. Thank you.